Most of us were taught directly or indirectly that freedom comes from other people changing, from being understood, from being treated fairly, from finally life cooperating with us. But if freedom depended on all that, then most of us would spend our lives waiting around. Real freedom begins when we realize that while we may not be in control of what happens and what happened to us, we are always participating in what happens next. One of my favorite distinctions around this work comes from Steve Chandler's talk, Owner versus Victim. This isn't about blame. It's not about denying harm. It's not about pretending that difficult things didn't actually happen. It's about becoming clear on where we are living from. So in a victim orientation, life feels like something happened to us. Our emotional state depends on other people's moods and their other people's choices. Our peace depends on circumstances changing, other people changing. And our future, it just feels postponed until something or someone shifts. And in that place, there's a lot of waiting. Waiting to be understood, waiting for someone to apologize to us, waiting for someone or something to change. And here's the important thing to understand. Victim orientation often begins as a way of protecting yourself. It protects us from overwhelm, from grief and risk. But over time, that orientation becomes very costly. It drains energy. It keeps on repeating the same pattern by manifesting it accidentally. It quietly reinforces the belief that life can't move forward yet. Instead, ownership is like, I'm the author of how I relate to what happens now. We choose how to respond to what happened. There's a principle of spiritual psychology that is how you relate to an issue is the issue. Ownership can feel like a strong word, but it doesn't mean control. It doesn't mean force. It doesn't mean being hard on yourself. It means response ability, the ability to respond. And when someone shifts into ownership, something very specific happens internally to them. Their energy begins to return, curiosity gets activated, and choice becomes available to them again. The questions that they ask themselves begin to change. Instead of asking, why did this happen to me? Why is this happening to me? They're going to say, how do I show up to what's happening such that it benefits me? They might ask, what's being asked of me in this moment? They might say, what's one small shift I could make that could make this for me? Just notice how those questions just feel different in your body. Ownership isn't like a permanent state that you need to take on. It's a moment-to-moment choice that you get to make, especially when you're tired, stressed, or activated. This work isn't about perfection, like never reacting or something. It's about recovering more quickly. Emotional elasticity. It's about remembering where your power actually lives inside you, not outside with someone else. Here's the part that really matters. Taking responsibility does not mean doing more. It does not mean abandoning compassion. It does not mean waiting for life to feel safe before you show up either. It means recognizing that while you may not control what happened to you, you can participate in what happens next. Even a small shift matters. If you brought just 3% more awareness or compassion into the next moment you feel triggered, something would change. Not because life just got suddenly easier, but because you became present with yourself. And presence is where choice lives. That's where freedom begins.